how I awaken content without adding more strategy. I want to share with you something that I've created. It's free. You can get it. I'll put a link right here in the description for you. It's something I call awaken your content. And it's a way that you can go through this process that I did when I started to see how my content performed for me. And it wasn't through strategy alone. It's actually felt like me. And I went through this discovery process. And later on, I've connected it with human design. And I've also studied with Jamie L. Palmer, who had a whole system that was so similar to what I was doing that, it was no brainer for me to go and study with her. But I want to bring it back to, what if you're not interested in human design, or you don't know anything about human design, or you just want a taste of this? So I created Awaken Your Content, which you can see right here. It's just a Google document that you can get, and it walks you through, and it's got prompts in here that help you just find what your red frequency. That's the thing that I call. That's the thing that I added to the content. And what ended up happening is all the strategies that I had tried before started to also work. Where before they weren't working, they worked for the other people that I knew who were using them, but they didn't seem to work for me. It wasn't until I put my red frequency in them that it happened. So I just wanted to share what this is, and you can download it and you can go through it yourself. I'll read the very first part here. You've poured time and effort into your content, yet lately it's felt flat. The systems you bought into didn't deliver the connection you hope for. The posts you've written haven't brought the response you imagine. This is what I see missing from content strategies, the energy that's felt before the words. It's for sure, because a lot of people who are creating these content strategies, it's based off of older ways of drawing people in, methods that hijack kind of your nervous system, that are lead with scarcity and FOMO and, limited availability, that sort of thing. You're going to miss out on it, your fears. And many of us, I know a lot of creators, especially over on LinkedIn, who are like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And resisted it, sometimes dipped their toes in it, but felt so icky and wanted to go the other way. And then ultimately, sometimes what we did, and I did this, is flash flood over to the other direction of just only going from what feels good and what felt soul or heart aligned. And we didn't have any strategies. And while we had a lot of people really connecting with us, we didn't move them into our products. So you got to find that balance in there. So this is what I feel like is really missing. And it's kind of like when someone asks you, why did you pick that color? And you respond, it just felt like me today. And so, it's those off the cuff remarks where we try to put them into words, but it's not really all that tangible. Like it was calling my name. I don't know. I just gravitated towards it. I don't know. It just seemed like the thing to do, those kinds of things. And, it just felt like me today, that sort of thing. So your audience feels something before they read a single word. And that is true. And even as, I might rephrase this. They unconsciously experience what you've written before they consciously bring it into their awareness. And that's really what I'm saying right there, is that it's in this unconscious space that sparks the interest, the connection, the trust. And when you know it, you can weave it into everything you share, your content that feels alive and awakens interest with the right readers. And so this workbook's like an 8-minute walkthrough on how to do it. I did it in a little bit less than 8 minutes. I probably did it in about 5 minutes, but maybe because I've already kind of known myself. But when I've done it with other people for the first time, roughly 8 minutes. Some people take a little bit longer, some people a little bit faster. You can even plug this into ChatGPT if you want and say, hey, I want to do this. Can you do it with me? And it probably already knows so much about you that it could fill in some of the stuff, so not opposed to doing that. So the first thing, the step that we start off with is, actually, let me backtrack. Let me tell you what we're trying to extract here. No, we'll go through it in the steps. I take that back. Okay. Sorry that I don't over prepare any of these things. And, I don't believe in cutting my feed, which maybe is annoying to other people, but you can always speed up. You can always just click forward. But I believe in just showing up in my realness and letting you see how I stumble or excel, how I help myself maintain on track. I really believe in that authenticness, that realness. Sometimes I want to get straight to it, but I really believe it in, for the most part, I want to have the opportunity for you to experience what it's really like to be with me. So here you go. Sometimes I change my mind in the middle of it. So we're going to start at, step 1. And we're always picking your offer, just one, which the one that you're selecting, because this can change depending on what your offer is. And then, what's the first thing that you help them with? So, what is that initial thing, that you can do? And then in any time, I can put a little note in here. I will do that. Anytime I can give a little something extra, I will always put that in there. But I also then, once you figure out here's the offer, here's the first thing, I want to know, what are you most proud of? Because becomes like the core, like it's probably your values, it's your lived wisdom, it's the things you've acquired, you've worked on them, you've earned them. That's how we kind of feel about those things. And then I want you to think about the thing that's just always kind of been there and you just don't really think about it. And you're like, I guess other people kind of like that about me. I kind of see that. And I know it for me, when I go through and do one of the ideal HD client reports, I get it in the questionnaire. It sparks up there. It's often edited out by the time I go and look at their offer or look at their content or look at their bio. But when they do the questionnaire, these little things surface and sparkle, and I sense that it's like they glow on the page when I come across a particular phrase on there, and it'll be missing any other part. And this is probably the thing about you that you don't think is no big deal. That's really not worth the money or anything. It's not the core of your offer, but it is something that's important about you. And by the way, this can change for every offer that you have. This may not be the same for every offer. If you change who your ideal client is, it also might be something that's different. And so you can write down what these gifts are. There's some spaces here. You obviously can add some more. And then we're going to rank them because, we often all have multiples of these gifts and stuff. Like one of the things that I actually thought it was something that was not a good thing for me was I have this slowed pacing because my auditory processing is a little bit slower. Like audiobooks are okay. I can do them if I'm walking. I can pay attention to them. But if I'm just sitting quietly, I struggle to actually hear the words. And so it slows me down a little bit. And so that's actually a good thing when you're coaching with somebody because you can slow them down because I'll have multiple follow-up questions. And can you repeat that? And I just want to make sure I understand. Those are all good coaching techniques. But what I found is by me needing to have them slow down so I could hear it, they also heard it. So that was like something that was, I actually thought it was quite the opposite of a gift. I thought it was a little bit of a struggle. So what are these things? And then we're going to rank them by, how much you enjoy doing them and then how much energy they give you after you do them. And this isn't logical. This is just how you feel. And then you start to find that sweet spot. And one of those is going to emerge, or a few of those are going to emerge. And that is most likely what your red frequency is. And then if you know a little bit about your human design, you can tap it into your human design too. And this is how we start to awaken your content. So literally, and here you can go to YouTube and check out some examples. So it could be how, if there's something, if I go back to my example where I slow things down, so I can slow the overwhelm down and everything. I know mine lives in the solar plexus. That's my red frequency for what I'm doing right now, where I'm creating these human design reports that help you see your red frequency, which is what I'm doing. And the people that I want to work with are the people who are frustrated with what their content performance is doing, and the old way of those icky salesy strategies that I know so many of them, including myself, want to break free. And you want to feel like yourself, but you still want to have some strategy. You don't want to just be out there in woo woo la la, soulful land. You actually still want to make money, and you want to have a business, right? And the other thing that I'm looking for are people who, they may or may not have had a human design reading, but if they have had it, it was kind of like, oh yeah, I saw myself. Like I really learned a lot of things about myself, but there was no action steps of what to do. And I'm looking to create things that solve a specific problem that gives real tangible steps, real ways of how to do it. And that's what I do in my report. So, it's part human design, but it's part how to then implement it and how to use it. And specifically, I'm talking about content writing. And so that slowing down is something that I can do through the solar plexus. And that is about emotions and creativity. And oftentimes things come into the solar plexus. Think of an idea. They come in, woof, all rushed in, and it's a lot at one time. I always think of creativity as like giving birth, and that moment afterwards where, you've still got the drugs in you and you're happy, and you also feel that separation, but you feel togetherness. You feel so many opposites at the same time. Like you're grateful and loving in this, but you're also, a little bit of fear of like, oh crap, what did I just do? I created a human being. Can I do this? You see the love and support, but you also feel a little bit like, a little bit of alone in your journey because you're adapting to a new identity. And I feel like that describes creativity and how it comes together. It's overwhelming. It's a lot. And that is my power, is to hold space for that so we can slow it down and spread it out and see that it's not so overwhelming. And that's my gift. That's what I look for when I start attracting. And those are things that I can put into my content, not just, oh, that's a nice thing to know about myself. I can write about it. I can parse out the emotions and separate. So it's this, I can call somebody and recognize, just even with them, this pull between the polar opposites of strategy that gets results, but this heartfelt that feels like you, and how it's overwhelming and it seems impossible to get them to merge. And that's what I'm offering. So that's how I write about things in my content. If you follow me on LinkedIn, and if not, hey, come on over. You can connect with me. Tell me that you saw this YouTube video and, or you downloaded Awaken Your Content, and you can get on my email list. And I would love to get to know you a little bit more. But this is what you get from here, a walkthrough, how you can go through and you can actually start to identify yourself what your red frequency is.